This is part 3. I'm sorry for making this so long, but I'm trying to at least, get you to understand the complexity of all of this at the very least, as I'm maybe making it more complicated than it isn't, but I feel that as though there's several layers of complex sort of ordeals at work here or in the mix when it comes to this whole, movement or whatever. That I don't know. But it's not that we need to be liberated. If anything, we need to be liberated from ourselves. What I mean by that is that the only person that's being oppressed, the only person that is being enslaved is the individual putting that on themselves. Because mentally, if you believe that, that is your reality, as you are, again, as per I said the first video, that you're the commander of your own ship. So if you deem yourself to be enslaved, that's a victimhood mindset, to be quite frank, because we're still allowed to exist. There's no rights that were really necessarily lost. You can still go to the bathroom. So fucking what? It's in the damn men's section or whatever that's appropriated to the gender in which you, or biological sex in which you were born as, which is an understandable sort of thing. The only conflict or complicated sort of ordeal that comes of that is the people that are extremely passable, that it's going to look really awkward and look really weird, which then already dilutes this very fragile fabric of what was normally this male-female acceptance of what was known to be male and female. And yes, I understand that it's not black and white. However, to allow for the balance of sort of, humanity in this very, again, fragile socio-economic or social sort of construct of livelihood, the world is not necessarily ready as a whole to understand the spectrum, the gray aspect or gray area of gender and whatnot, and how just very fluid it is. And I do agree and understand that on that level, but at the same time, you have to slowly introduce these concepts to society, the greater portion of society that believes a certain way, and you can't damn them for literally not agreeing with whatever your perception or preferred pronoun or whatever that you are, not even educating them on. You're just deeming and demanding that they call you that. I know there's individuals that aren't so demanding, but the ones that get so insecure by that, that's where the conflicts also arise. And there's so many layers of complicated sort of ordeals that literally this was just it was irresponsibly handled in terms of this 10-year sort of mark of power and sort of visibility that the trans community has had. And that is where, it seems like we're going to be made not to exist, but it has to go back in the shadows. We have to have a reset, or else we're going to have a social cataclysm. I kid you not. And that's going to be very detrimental to humanity.